Indeed you are. Okay. Just getting started over here. Here comes me. Hello. I had to put away my green screen because it's too hot in here and it cuts off the airflow circulation here. Celine says Ezra voice jump scare. Celine says, I have to do this, lol. Does that work? It works. Look, you got a little #1 sign. You see it? Do you see it on your little character? Your berry folk. What? It's so cute. Yeah. Yeah, the yippies are back. Dread on Arrival. A lot has happened. I mean, it's so good that now I'm taking like every other day off because I get to do a lot of work off stream. Look at us. So I have, this is the combat tester. So you can see there's a UI. I can choose different types of combat and I can go restart. And then once I restart, it generates it. Whoa. Okay. Well, this is clearly adding on top of each other. There's some things I need to change there, but the idea is there. DOA, Dead on Arrival. What's on? Oh, Dread on Arrival. I was like, Dead on Arrival? What? What's Dead on Arrival? Hey, Zuzu. Haven't seen an update on this in a while. Looks like it has been scoped up. As it has. Well, kind of. It's kind of scoped down. We scoped up and scoped down, Zuzu, because we actually did the GDD, which reminds me I have to review your GDD for one of the videos. And from there, we basically locked in some of the concepts, and now we have a very important part, a roadmap. I should probably call this roadmap. Roadmap. Meaning we have target dates that are locked in for different types of versions. And then the first version we're going to be releasing is scoped down. Celine says, oh, Ezra, I've been working on a text adventure game for Godot, and I made a script that might be useful for Dread on Arrival. Ooh, script. Useful script. I'll take it. Celine says, you can see it in the showcase channel. Ah, let's see. Let's see what Celine is showing off. Oh, my friend is like, you want to hang today? I just started streaming. Maybe I have time in like 2-3 hours. Otherwise, again or next week. My goodness. I am early. 30 minutes early. But look. It's coming together. Oh yeah, I was supposed to look at Celine's showcase real quick. Hold on. A script that might be useful on Dread on Arrival. I guess I'm gonna go see a person. He's working on a dungeon crawler, kind of like Enter the Gungeon. And, you know, I've been meeting up with him since the beginning of the project, giving feedback and talking about content creation and game development. I might be doing my practice, what do you call it? Trailer video editing with his game project, because I said I might be able to do that. McCray says, whoa, this is new. What is this for? This is Dread on Arrival. This is the event/combat portion. So some ideas we had, we added this like mock-up as we were writing GDD. Because I wanted the event and combat to be a little bit more active, feels more manageable, and some of the items and crew combination feel a little bit more dynamic. So we have a little bit more Into the Breach plus FTL type of feel right now. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm making this like configurable. This is a tester, meaning this UI on the right bottom corner is for testing purpose only. This whole other thing is what combat/event would look like. So we're going to do that. Corey says, you and your isometric tiles. I can't get away. I feel like it's just best way to do tactics. Strategy. Okay. Celine says, working on some Undertale-esque task or text. I'm pretty happy with my really simple implementation, to be honest. I might change it to word by word rather than weird that it's showing full name when I'm in a streamer mode. Anyways, okay, let's see. What is it? Oh yeah, little text progress. Ooh. You gotta add it is rich text, right? You gotta add the BB code and like the animation. Little like a rainbow animation, all those things. That would be so awesome. If you can make the text box for us. And pauses, those are nice. That's sick. I love it. Yeah, I definitely can use it. Because, you know, as fundamental as it is, I'm tired of redoing it every time. And of course, I love this. Anshi, Eden and their lovely spider punk. Okay. McCurry says, Discord doesn't show you as streamer mode. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, it says so on the top. Celine says, it's showing my server nickname. Streamer mode hides true username, but any server nicknames will be shown. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's very simple right now. I'm working on making it a bit more feature big. Hey, I think Textbox is a great plugin to have. Anybody can use it. I tried to generalize it once before, and I was like, how do I do this? And it's actually pretty complicated if you want to generalize it so that people can just easily plug in and play. But we'll see. Anyways, so I don't know, Mikuri, how much of the concept we've missed, but basically it's tactics. But essentially, crew member... Okay, well, I can show it here. I can replace it with this now, probably. Screen cap here. And then I'm going to post it right here. The idea is basically these are the crew members, and crew member, you can see what station they're in, and these are the different stations on the ship, right? So you have navigation, control, the power, electrical, shield generator, the weapons, O2 generator, the locker, the engineering bay, and med bay. Essentially, wherever the crew is, they have a very specific action they can perform. And each of the station has the structural integrity, health, aka health, O2 level, and then power level. And basically, that's the game of like, oh, sending these people to different locations, and you can see what location they're in by looking at this. And basically, the ship action is the crew performing an action. So moving requires one of the people to be in the navigator to move a certain amount, etc., etc. And then there's some interesting mechanics with what can happen for each of the station. I want to see if this gameplay... So this is the event/combat with, you can see objective right here. Right now, the objective is neutralize all hostile ships. So that's one. I made the system configurable. So we have standard combat here. If you look at this, I think is pretty cool. The way the combat is configured is by dropping in these generators and objectives. So you have like different type of objectives. So I just drop in, hey, this combat requires destroy all enemies. Or if I have like pick up something, then it's like I will put an extra objective there. And this one is a hostile ship generator. So this is responsible for generating hostile ships on this map. So each map is generated by these nodes, the generator nodes that gets dropped in. And then each of the generator can have configuration on it where I can just configure what they should do. So like this is like a truly plug and play / compositional functional way to do this, I think. It's very interesting. Let's see. So I just, right before starting the stream, I just tested the fact that it works. The generation with the sorry. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to insert this. Talk about game today. Oh. Sorry, everyone. All right. Text is done. Let's see. Celine says, yeah, it's very simple. Okay, no, I already read that. McCray says, I finally today upgraded my setup. No longer one large 49-inch ultra-wide. Now I have two 32-inch monitors with the main middle one being OLED and 4K. Gee, I don't think I can ever run a 4K monitor because I feel like it's going to be too much resolution for my computer. Maybe for my desktop, but I don't know if my laptop will be able to handle it. But pretty impressive. Well, congrats on your setup. Seems pretty good. But yeah, I actually wanted to, for this thing, add some asteroid. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. And then the FTL point, the escape point. So we're going to do here, export var, FTL position, vector 2i. I don't know if it should be a range or a location. I'm going to say this is a location. For standard combat, for 6x4, I'll say FTL position will be at the other side. So if I have 1-1 here, 1-1, this one will be like 5-3. 5-3 will be the FTL position. Then I'm going to drop in a asteroid generator like that. And that's all I have to do. Theoretically, which I haven't implemented this yet, so I'm going to do that right now. Because feels nice. Been meaning to change for a while, lol. Yeah, I'm going back to one monitor setup, but small. I do have a huge monitor, but because my laptop has limited display port, that I haven't been able to utilize it, especially because my graphic tablet also requires HDMI cable input to show the screen. Like there's just not enough ports for me to use, and I haven't used it at all, so I might have to get rid of the wide one so I have more space down here. Yalv says, hey, how you doing? I'm just starting with pixel art for game dev, but I feel stuck when I try to create something. Do you have advice on how to start, actually progress step by step? Thank you. Oh yeah, of course. You know what, that's why I'm on stream anyways. Do you mean for the pixel art, or do you mean in general for the game itself? Like designing a game, starting a game? I think mainly there's two ways to approach it. Either way. Now I am especially liking, so even before I did the whole like, hey, GDD helps a lot, I've always had this habit of making like plans by writing things down by hand, like with pencil and paper, and drawing like display or like asking myself questions, right? I like to go off of, if you're just generally looking for ways to be creative and come up with some game ideas, which I like to do a lot. Not to say that my game ideas are good. This is just one way to come up with ideas. I ask questions like this, right? What feeling do we want to impart on player? Or what feelings do I want to translate in this game? Hey, thanks for the Hasi with the Berry Folk Booster Pack. It's adding some berries in here. Make sure you plant your berries so you can get some. Welcome, Hasi. Welcome back. So asking those questions are important. For example, like I would say the way I would have invented Celeste would be like, I love rock climbing. What do I like about rock climbing? What is the fun that I get physically? Can I translate that fun onto players? What would be the similar feeling mechanically that I feel on rock climbing? And then I would come up with like, oh, being very difficult to navigate, jumping from places to place, realizing what holds to hold, having a beta, which means beta in rock climbing is like the path, right? The path, intended path, the solution. And then trying to execute on the solution. So it's like figuring out the solution and then executing on the solution. So there's like, so those are the feelings that I would do, right? And then you start really diving down into these questions of like, okay, what gets in the way? What is helpful in that way? What is the inspiration? What other mechanics that from other games should I implement that would work really well? Those are the questions that you can start asking yourself to have like the general, like, oh, this would be so fun if we did this, if we did that. And then don't get too bogged down by like your original idea that you had. The original idea of like, oh, you know, I want to make a game about, for example, in this example, we're talking about rock climbing. If it evolves into something else where you're like, you know what? It's not the same, but it's still this other mechanic that I'm coming up with that got inspired by that original question. Still sounds fun. Then you go off with that, whatever you feel most drawn to. And then once you have this like brain dump, which we have right here in our document, you can start organizing and picking and choosing which ones you want to definitely keep and start locking things down. I used to be like, okay, well, you don't have to actually lock it down after you have general like playable demo in your head. You can start implementing it to see if it is actually fun, or you can start paper prototyping, meaning you make physical versions of the game, like a little post-it card. No, it's called index card, like the index card version of the game, or like a playable version, board game version, to see if it's actually fun, which is good. And then once you do that, you have some feedback, you have some new ideas, and then you start to lock it down because you're going to get a lot of ideas. You need to now scope down to be like, hey, I'm going to commit to these things. And once you have it in writing, it's less like ambiguous, bubbly thing, but it's more like, okay, these are the things that I need to hit eventually. And that helps technically because when you're coming up with solutions, software solutions, the temptation is to be either too narrow, meaning it's really hard to make changes to make it fit other purposes, or too generic, meaning you're making the solution of your software fit too many cases when it doesn't have to, right? Like if you are customizing your character and you say, I want to be able to change hair type, but then according to the game design and the feeling that you want to impart, hairstyle change is never a thing that you're going to hit. So implementing that maybe helps with your future projects, but it's not very helpful for this one. So you don't want to have that headache. So you're saving a lot of time. I mean, that's how I would go about it. Essentially, long story short. Celine says, okay, did a really quick implementation, and it's going to have to be a little bit more complex to be able to handle the tags. Tags? Oh, tags for like animations and stuff? That sounds complicated. So he says, oh yeah, as you can see the BB code version in the member chat. Oh, members chat. We got our members using member privilege. We have member general, by the way. If you have your Twitch or YouTube connected to your Discord, and then you are either a YouTube member, paying member, or a sub, then you get the special access. Since Ezra asked on stream, here's a really quick and dirty BB code implementation. Oh, look at that. BB code tag. The list is a little bit, looks good. Look at that. It's working. That's more than I can say for my games, so that's great. Anyways, I hope that helps y'all. All right. Cut that. No, I'll probably do that myself. There you go. All right, so I was going to add asteroid on my game. The way I'm doing it is by doing a generator. Generator provides a map, and I'm going to say map, add piece, and I'm going to add asteroid piece. Eventually, that's what I want to do. And asteroid piece is a combat piece. And then combat piece is going to be one of these things. Instead of doing that, probably like that. Packed scene. And then we're gonna preload this. I've been using the what do you call the unique ID preloading, where it's not dependent on the path. Really cool. I like it. Less error prone. I don't see why you wouldn't want to do this unless you have some resources with the duplicate names where the resource path decides what version of the resource you're using. Then I guess it's different, but we do want to do that. What we're going to do here, probably same thing as the hostile generator, I think. We want to have one of these things where we say, let's see how close to the player the asteroids can be. And then how close to the spawn, or how close to the FTL, meaning the exit, it needs to be, or how far can it be. I don't think there's any limit, so I'm going to put 10 on this one. There's a lower limit of 2 here, so not next to, maybe 1 is good. And then the minimum spawn, I want to say at least spawn 3, at most spawn 6. That's what I'm going to do here. And I think we can use exactly same logic as this one, except replace the enemy with asteroid. So here we have this logic. Yusuf says, hi Ezra, can you present your new game project in a couple words? I have a summary / pitch, which is 2 sentences. It's not new, but it says, explore the unknown space with a uniquely hand-built ship and crew in this retro-futuristic game. The player navigates, or you navigate, through hazards and events while managing the sanity of the player, your crew. Navigate through hazards and events while managing the sanity of your crew. Are we truly alone here? Essentially, space mystery, roguelike, crew management, ship upgrade game. But it's tactics, so I probably need to kind of include that bit later. So he says, oh yeah, I just posted the full script so far. A humble 40 line. 40 line. That's probably as efficient as it gets, right? Wow. Nice. Oh, this is 40 lines? Looks so small. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. I'm sure I'll use it eventually. Pin. There you go. Oh yeah, pin it. Okay. Anyways, y'all said thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate Also, are those information going to be useful even with no experience at all? Because I've never tried pixel art or game dev the correct way. Well, yeah, I think so. What I'm telling you is more about ideating. So I would think that even if you were someone who would be hiring developers, let's say, okay, this was assuming that you're not doing the art, you're not doing the sound, you're not doing the programming yourself, and you only want to do the game design part. And that document is actually even more so important, because if you're trying to get somebody else to do some of the other parts, then this core messaging of what you're trying to translate, what you're trying to impart on your player needs to be written down like a rule, so that anybody who's coming into your project will be able to see, okay, well, I kind of get what it is. If there's any confusion, you need to clarify in the document, right? So having it written down, having it ideate that way is still good, because you're asking yourself a lot of like character defining questions, character being your game. So he says, make sure to read the note below. Lol, I just copy pasted and it uses my global variable autoload. Oh, I see. No worries. I saw that note, but I will make sure I did that properly. Okay. So we have this. We're going to do asteroid piece instead of the thing, I think. Hold on. I got to add to the group, probably the neutral group. Here. We'll do asteroid piece, add to group, neutral, and then grid position will be one of the candidate position. Nice. And so that's all that is. Nice. Boom. All right, this should do it. Doing this should automatically spawn asteroids in configured places. So we have this combat tester, so I'm going to choose standard combat and start. Let's see where it breaks. It's trying to assign value of asteroid generator.gd to a variable combat piece. Well, it is a combat piece, isn't it? Oh. Oh, wrong resource. Should have been... Okay, I see. I loaded the wrong resource. We gotta do the... Under the piece, there's a asteroid piece. So when you're dragging and dropping the resource, if you hold control, it'll automatically load it with unique ID. Well, it'll write the script with the unique ID instead of the path, which is a neat trick that I learned. Oh, which is only available on 4.5 or higher, by the way. I did upgrade to 4.5. I really like it. Warnings are highlighted in line, which is great. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am using the new abstract classes that were introduced. There's some... There are tiny issues with the exports, from what I can tell. I think it's a bug, but we'll see. As you can see right here, combat config. If I go to... I'm definitely using abstract somewhere. Here, hold on. Abstract. Aha, see? My generators. I have an abstract class called combat generator that extends node, and it has a abstract generate. So if you extend this class, it's going to yell at you if you don't implement the generate, which is intended way to do it. Abstract is fun. It's more, I think it's mostly a organizational help, but it's a good reminder so I don't mess up. Look at this. I mean, I would say this is working. Beautiful, right? We got some asteroids here. We got these tiny units. We are missing FTL. So I do need to do FTL here. Maybe, yeah. Okay. And then during the generation, I need to make it so that the generation logic also removes everything from the map before creating a new one. Mikori says, love the abstract classes. Yeah, it's been very helpful. I mean, in the beginning, it was like a little bit hard because, okay, so there's a little bit of issue. If you make an abstract class that is a node, like a node 2D node, not resources, then when you're exporting that abstract class on the parameter, it's not able to load in the implemented version of those abstract classes. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a little bit complicated, but like there's a little slight bug or at least behavior that is unexpected, I think. McRae says you should make like 2 to 3 variation of the asteroids and randomize it so it looks more natural. Yeah, for sure. I think for initial goal of reaching, so right now my roadmap is October 13th, which is actually when this year's October, what do you call it? Next Fest, Steam Next Fest is. I'm not gonna launch for that, but I want to reach a first roguelike version of the game available within that time, which is 3 weeks. I think it's doable. And by the way, if I at any point here, if I'm ahead schedule, for example, here is Gen 31st, right? Instead of working on it to make this goal more achievable, I'm going to jump on my next game, which is Blood is Mana as my next one online. So at the end, this will be impressive, but I'm hoping by next year, October, I'll have 3 of my games ready for Next Fest. And so I'll release a Next Fest version, like the demoable version, free demoable version of 3 games on Steam in 1 year. And we can talk about it. It'll truly be a feat in project management skill, I think. And then the key concept will be like, and I didn't use AI. I made 3 games in a year and I didn't use AI. Anyways, Celine says, I just had an idea for the visual. This is entirely cosmetic. But what if instead of a grid, you can see like a tiny bit of grid around each unit on the field? Oh, you mean just like instead of seeing the full field, you mean like just around the unit only? That could be cool. Visually, that could be interesting. I definitely want to, there's a lot of visual stuff I need to work on. Another thing is that obviously the background needs to be more interesting than this like deep blue stuff, right? It needs to be like space stuff. I also had an idea of area outside of this is more red, like a kind of like the red, like inaccessible thing, potentially. But you know what? Visual stuff I'm going to keep in mind. I'm not going to worry too much about it because we do have a visual designer, right? Revi. I do want to get him to be more involved in this. We are rev sharing half-half, so I'm going to get him to be involved as much as I can. Celine says, like the grid is solid around them, but the grid fades further. Ooh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Kind of like this. Let me show you. So if you go here, tile map layer, there's this. Wait, how do you, like that? Kind of like that, right? Except it's going to be isometric. Like that. Like so. Right? Yeah, I think that would be cool. Of course, this question, have you decided to go to Godot Fest? I don't think I can. I mean, 1, it's kind of expensive, and 2, it's too short of a notice. I got a lot of things to do. Unfortunately, not this year, but definitely I think I can. I think if I reach If I reach this goal of releasing 3 games or having a 3 demoable games by next year, that means I'm going to have 3 Godot demoable games, which means I have a reason to be at a Godot Fest. Yeah? So, that'll be the goal. Wait, is my Wi-Fi down? No, I'm still on stream. I'm still here. Okay, Celine is having trouble here. Celine says, Dev Burnout Simulator. Ezra, please don't overwork yourself. I'm not going to be overworking myself. I mean, I do it for fun. I never burn out. I never burnt out in my life. I always stop before I burn out. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I have a fan here because it's so hot. Actually, outside is really cool. In Pacific Northwest, it's about like 60 Fahrenheit, which is pretty chill, nice and cool, almost fall weather, not quite. So it's nice, but my apartment doesn't have openable windows, so there's no ventilation that are like directly accessed to the outside. And we have huge window, which means we get a lot of heat in. And AC is down. So that means right now indoor temperature is like 85 Fahrenheit. Which is, I think we found out it was like 39 Celsius, which is hot. So I'm struggling over here. And they just gave me a little notice saying like, oh, sorry for taking so long. It's already been a week, mind you. And they're saying they're going to need another week to fix it. So I'll have to figure it out. Oh. Bye, Celine. Celine's Wi-Fi is down. I'm sorry. Sad. Let's see. But yeah, I think next Godot Fest, I will definitely be there. Why not? I mean, if I have 3 games to show off, there's 100% a reason to be there. Anyways, okay, so we just spawned Asteroid. One last thing I need to spawn in is the FTL point. And for this one, we have FTL position. So we'll have it like that. We got the FTL. So over here, when I'm generating the map, after placing the player piece, I think we'll place the FTL first. FTL piece equals const FTL piece will be this one. And we're going to instantiate this as combat piece. Structurally, this project is pretty complex now. I'm not sure if that is a bad thing. I don't think I need to do that because I think it's by default included in FTL point. And then this piece grid position will equal to FTL position. And then we'll add it to the map. Like so. So we placed the FTL piece and we did that. Hostile. We figured it out. FTL piece will be retrieved. Cool. I think this should be good. Let's see if this works. Boom. And then we're going to generate this. Aha. Maybe this needs to be a little bit bigger. Maybe 3x that. Scale. There you go. A little bit better. A little bit more in scale, I think. 3, yeah. So this is the FTL location. I don't know if the enemies should be able to hop onto the FTL position. Ooh, that could be another one. Like there could be units that are running away and you're supposed to chase them. Oh, that could be fun. Can you imagine? Really fun stuff right there. Okay. This is looking good so far. I'm going to turn off the grid now. Or not grid, but the little coordinates. So the drawing is done here. The coordinates, this. We can get rid of that. Now we'll see the game in its true form. Sick. So neutralize all hostile ships, and there's one here. And then we have an FTL point here. Thanks for the follow, Semkelom. Semkelom? Is that how you say it? On Twitch. Welcome. Welcome, friends. All right. This ship. You know what? That's okay. It's floating a little bit higher. Just Sam? Okay. Well, welcome, Sam. Appreciate the follow. All right. So we have some asteroid thing. I don't know what asteroid does exactly. I want to make it so that if you're an asteroid, maybe like things will hit less, but then you have collision chance every turn you're staying in the asteroid field, or should you... Like, is that a risk? Because I feel like, oh, that should be navigation thing. Like, you can purposely, you have to navigate to maneuver around. That's true. So you can stay in here undamaged as long as you use one of your crew to navigate. Otherwise, you have 50% chance of getting hit. I think that could be cool. What else? Yeah. Okay. All right, few things here. Let me see what the... So the generation is done. This one is not doing anything just yet. Probably need to configure this specifically. The power level... I suppose right now this is considered powered as well, the power generator. I think what... I mean, why would you need to power a power generator, right? So this having a power is kind of weird. Power on, off. Like this is always on. Right? Unless we make it so that this drains into other things. Like this shows how much power is available. But then I feel like that needs to be a separate measurement. Okay. So it does seem like some of the stations don't require power. I think it's always on. So we'll have those. The ship station. We have an info panel. And that one takes in all these levels. I think it should probably also have export var requires power as a boolean, right? And we'll say on update display, power progress bar, visibility will equal to the fact that if it requires power or not. Which means station, when we're doing the station thing, the ship info, which is right here, station type, has all of this. I mean, technically this could be as easily, what do you call, be a resource itself, but I'm managing, basically I'm foregoing this to be a mapping of single resource, which can technically be a bad design. So what I'm doing here is that I have a mapping between the type enum and like icons and values that I can just kind of pull in. So this is essentially mimicking the function of resource, except it's in a single file. which can be an organizational nightmare or organizational heaven in that you can see everything all at once. So I'm opting for this for now. Could be a bad idea. Is power required? Oh, this is so bad. It's okay. So what we're going to do here, basically by default, this is going to be true, right? Meaning we only need to define what's not required. So say false here, right? And the static function says, is power required of the station? And it returns Boolean. It'll return this get station. If it doesn't exist, it's true by default. If it, yeah. And so this is going to be given. Combat tester here. While creating the panels, so when we're initializing combat, the player info and their ship info is retrieved over here. Where is it? The ship, yep, adding stations here. And let's see. When we add station, we're grabbing the icon here, and we're going to also say info panel is requires power will equal to the static call for is power required for the station. Cool. Now, if I run it, the power generator should not have the power bar. There you go. So everybody has health and oxygen and power, except the power generator doesn't have anything, which is okay. Cool. Nice. Looking good, looking good. All right. Just give me a second. I'll be back. I'm going to get some water. Okay. Ferric Phoenix says, oh, wow, this looks sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are working through this, trying to finish this by next year. Technically, the first roguelike version. So this is going to have some narrative aspects to it, some narrative puzzles and on that, like Citizen Sleeper. But I was hoping that, according to roadmap, we will be done with the roguelike version of the game in a month. In a month. That's the goal. All right, let me answer this text real quick. But yeah, oh, thanks for the follow as well. I didn't realize that. We are on Godot as well. If you're a developer, I guess I've assumed that you're interested in that information. How does 4:30 p.m. at... Ferric says, congrats. Yeah, thanks. Congrats on the plan. We'll see. This is my first time doing a roadmap here, so we'll see. We got the October 13th as the pre-alpha version, and then Gen 31st for the post rebalance, post game test. So I need to start collecting game testers for this game. And then hoping that the first narrative version will be done after 6 months. And after that play test and rebalancing after 2 months, maybe we can hit the next fest in October. A little bit ambitious still, but I think we can do it. Ferric says, I Devin Godot too, approaching first MVP demo. Oh, fun. We'll love to see it. But yeah, we'll see. I was already telling the chat earlier today. I mean, they're familiar. If you guys been watching me, if anybody who's been watching me knows that we have like 4 different projects that are going on at the same time. And so I'm finally trying to finish it. So we'll see. We're gonna lock in. That's what we're doing here. Locking and co-working. That's what we're doing. Inspiring each other. Okay, where was I? I was in the middle of adding the power requirement. Okay, so we need to kind of think about the UI aspect of this, right? So total available power to route, right? I know it's a single bar, but essentially we need to indicate if the station is online or offline, right? And right now, this is one of the bars. Probably we can make it so that like, I do think that the quantizing the power bar is important because we want to say route certain number in order to power that unit. So... But then why would you ever partially power something? Like some of the station may operate in a partial power, maybe. Ferric says, color in the panel if it's on. Color in the panel if it's on. Color in the panel if it's on. I'm not really sure what you're referring to. I'm sorry if I'm reading this like delayed. Oh, power. Power for like the panel needs to be colored in. Okay. That's a fair point. Right now it's transparent, right? Hold on. Let me see. Yes, it is. So if it's powered on, they can be colored in. I think that's a good idea. Online, offline. Now what color to use? Because this is like already like this like bright yellow thing. So it still needs to be some sort of dark color for this to be contrasting on top of. Maybe something like teal green. Deep teal green might look like it's appropriate. Kind of like a CRT. Ferric says, sorry, haha, I can be a design busybody. Don't mind me. Yeah, no worries. I mean, these things are helpful. I think that's a good idea. Coloring in is not so simple right now, but we can make it... If we mask it, I think we can do it. Here, I'll show you a trick. Well, it's not really a trick, but let's see. Station, panel. Station panel. Oh, since you are developing in Godot, I want to show you this one. So this is my tester thing. So we have a combat, navigation combat thing that I can plug and play anywhere. And then I'm using this tester as like the testing with the test UI here for generation tests. So here it takes in this, where it passes in when you're initializing, it passes in the combat configuration. I was like puzzling it, like, should it be a resource or not? I decided ultimately to make it a, since we're at 4.5 now, we're utilizing abstract classes, which is really good. I like it. So under configuration, you can see that we have this thing called standard combat config, which extends combat configuration. But basically, don't pay attention to code. What's important is any type of generation or objective are nodes that you drop in. I don't have to do anything else. All I have to do is like, okay, well, this one requires some asteroids, so I drop in asteroid generator. It requires some parameters. I drop in some hostile ships, and then I say, hey, you know what? This config, this combat, the objective is going to be destroy enemy objective, so I can drop in the objective like that. And then that auto configures into all of the other thing, which I think is good. And then this one has this like check on damage, check on turn. Like the objective, like when it's confirming if the objective is failed or passed, will happen on these. So Ferric says, yeah, that's a really sick implementation. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was really proud of it. Well, at least I think it's like, when we're talking about the composition pattern, right? I think this is like it. That's what this is, I think. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting way to do it. Ferric says, a testing environment. Jesus, that's such a smart idea. I mean, I think a lot of people want to do that. It's just that sometimes the game itself becomes a testing environment. But I've done it enough where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a hassle to have to go through the entire game just to test very specific things. So having a testing environment for each piece feels really nice now. It's become a habit, new habit of mine. But we have a few things here. We're going to go back to the panel, the info panel. So for the coloring and for the station. So with station panel here. This one already has a frame as that. And I wonder if we can overlap this. What if I have another one? So for example, if I do 9 patch rect, and then we make this a full rect anchor, and then this one's going to be the background. Yeah. I think it was called CRT or star map. Map. Space map mask. So this is the mask. We're going to drop the mask in. And then we're going to 9 patch this. 192 divided by 3, so it's 64 everywhere. And then it's going to tile the middle portion. Right. Wait, why is that doing that? 64. Oh, it has a 15. But that's a content margin. 193 to 95 on full rect. This one is hitting 128. Why is it doing that on full rect? Why is it not filling this in? Is it because of tiling? Let's see. Curious. I wonder why this and this has a very different logic of what it means to full rect. Is it because of the positioning? No, positioning is also being impacted. Is it because of the draw center? Weird. I want to try something here. Instead of 9 patch rect, let's see if I do panel, what it does. texture. And then we're going to do this right here, texture margin of 64. And then we're going to anchor into full rect. And then do a content margin. We're going to tile. And a content margin of, I think I was saying 15, 15, 10. I don't know if that's going to impact anything here. Oh, it does impact it. Interesting. Okay. So we can put it like that. And this one, we're going to use as mask. So we're going to have clip option here. It's going to clip only, meaning if I have a color rect in the background that is fill. Oh, because it's a content margin. I mean, I really wish it's not a content margin. I mean, technically, I guess I could reduce the size. I mean, I guess I could just assign it, but that makes no sense. Because the content margin is, I suppose. Interesting. It's going to draw a center. We do 15, 15, 16, 15. This is where the content fills. So this margin is what we need to work with. If we say the margin is 0, that's going to fill up all the way. Let's see if I resize this, it's going to follow. Yes, that looks good. And then this one can, instead of color rect, we're going to use texture rect here real quick. Change type, texture rect. And then we're going to use our dialog box texture. I think. Not that one. This one. And then we'll tile this. Maybe this needs to be 9-patch too. I'll change this to 9-patch. 9-patch rect. And we're going to use this guy real quick. 58, so we're say 58 divided by 3, 19 everywhere. There you go. And then excess stretch will be tiling. Nice. So we're going to have this powered on, power off, powered on, power off. For a little bit more like glow feel, I think. I'm going to do a little modulation here. I think. Like so. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Let's see. Turbite says, I didn't know you had another game you were working on. I mean, this is an old game. It's not another. Dread on Arrival. Ferric says, yeah, that's red. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, maybe this is like a little too bright. I'm not really sure. Feels a little bit. Hold on. Yeah. Like so. Looks a little vibrant. I mean, honestly, it could be between this and this. And if we do transparency, ooh, that could be cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of looking CRT, right? We'll say export var is powered, or false by default, I think. And this one as well, set value is powered equals value if is node ready, update display. And during update display, basically, we'll say, we'll do the modulate between these twos here. Ooh, interesting. It gives in an expressway or expression way. Technically it should be self-modulate, right? Wait, why doesn't... Ah, sick. Yeah. Ooh, that's nice. So we'll say var or constant actually. We'll put that over down here. Let's see. Constant on modulate color. And then constant off modulate color. For off, I think we'll test this. We'll just simply go like this. Pretty simple. Like so. So we're just going to go between colorect, background texture. Let's say background texture self-modulate will equal to on modulate color if is powered. Otherwise, we're going to be off modulate color. And by default, everybody's off. So it's going to be off here. Tester launch. But yeah, Terabyte. This is I mean, I don't know if you recall Dread on a... Oh, interesting. I don't know if this overlap should be allowed. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks pretty cool here. I think this is great. And it's going to turn on. Dread on Arrival that we were working on before, the combat or crew management style game, we're just locking in some of the combat and event design to reach our launch. Ferric says, man, the ads are getting long. That's wild. You know what's funny? I keep trying to adjust the automatic ad setting, but it does whatever it wants to do regardless. I can't really tell when the ads are going. There has to be a streamer option to show if the ads are running or not. Do I do edit layout? Co-stream since last ad. Let's see. Panels. Ad manager. Is that something? What does that do? Ad manager. Ad starts in 54 minutes. Okay, that seems like that's something. Clearly, I'm so good at streaming. I don't know where I can put this that'll make it less confusing. Oh my gosh. Like that? Oof. That's not too bad. That seems manageable. I feel like this needs to be in its own thing. Sorry guys, I'm just configuring my layout. Please. Oh, maybe I just tossed that. That was not what I was supposed to do. Oh no. You know what? I can show you guys this. You guys are probably wondering, what are you looking at? I'm looking at this. I lost my raid window, so just give me a second. Quick actions. I can put it... Can I put it like right in here? I want... Yeah. Yay, I did it. Okay. Okay, okay. I think this works. There you go. A little better. Oh my gosh. How do I turn off the edit mode now? No more edit. I don't want to edit anymore. Lock in. Save. There you go. I'm technically impaired. Ferric says, yeah, cost of doing business, I guess. Unfortunately, it is. Hey, I mean, at the least, it supports me in ways that is free for you. So I can't complain. Personally, I suppose. I do wish I get paid more, better ratio. Okay, so this is good. There's some issues with this, but it's okay. I'm powered on. All right. Total electrical supply needs to be somewhere. I do think that probably having a bar that goes vertically here for the entire thing might be helpful. Or one that goes over here at the top. It's like a little electric sign, and then there's like a bar here. Thanks for the sub. Prime sub. Wow. Appreciate the Ferric. Wow. First time viewer and a Prime sub immediately. The best in slot viewer. BIS, right? That's what we say in the gaming world, don't we? Very efficient. Appreciate it. Okay. All right, let's think about this now. Do I worry about power routing just yet? I do think so. I do need to worry about power routing immediately, because it should be whatever it was before. I also need to display the power, available power, and then I need to better represent how much power is required for each station. I mean, if it doesn't require power to be online, then it should be turned on automatically, right? So that is to say, on the information panel, when we're deciding on this, is powered. It's either powered or does not require power. Meaning, now if I start this again, that panel should come online. There it is. Oh, that looks sick, actually. That looks pretty good, right? Hey, that looks pretty good. Appreciate that. What else? Total power. Total power. I need to be able to... I need to click on players. Yeah, I think so. When I click on players, I think there needs to be an action that pops up, the things that I can do with them at the bottom. And if I click on relocate, it'll draw an arrow like that to show where they go. The other actions would be whatever actions that are available. All right, cool. Ferric says, hell yeah, exactly. Appreciate that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm procrastinating actively at the moment. Like, I'm trying to see which one I want to do less. Let me stare at this for a little bit. Because as I said, I definitely need to do available actions. And I gotta click. The first thing first, some of these things needs to be powered. And then I need to come up with ways to indicate how much power it requires in order to bring them online, right? And that could be part of the balance. Yeah, I'm going to change the yellow bar into a little power circle. So we're going to have to come up with a different icon. We might have an icon for it already. Ah, we do. We have a power icon here. We'll make a power bar now. Luckily, we already made a battery shape. So for the power progress bar, we'll make two versions of the icon. Empty icon and filled icon. So we'll just grab it from UI. It's under image, UI, ship, power icon. So we go image, UI. Ah, get out of the way, Discord notification. Can't see. Ship, power icon. And then we'll just empty this out. Actually, we'll probably do this. Like that. Yeah, that's empty enough. So we'll save this as power unpower icon. Sick. And we're gonna make a progress bar of those power thing. Ferric says, I definitely get that. I am at building out an inventory and trading system and playing NMS instead. What's NMS? Is that a game? Sorry, I'm not familiar with NMS. Speaking of, I need to finish up Act 3 of Silk Song. So I do have other things I want to do, but the deadline beckons me. All right, so for power progress bar, we're going to go to the combat station UI. I think it was under station. So we're going to make a scene. It's going to be a user interface called power progress display. And this one is going to be VBox or HBox. I always get them confused. And we're going to go from left to right. We're not going to do anything here. Minimum 32. Why? And texture rect here real quick. Empty or unpower. We're going to put this in. Keep size, keep aspect. I'll probably ignore size actually. Layout. Hey, Covino raid. Hey, long time no see, Covino. Has it been a while? I mean, I was out all last week because I was sick, so I'm not really sure. I do think that I saw your notifications going online. But thanks for raid, everyone. Welcome, raiders. Shout out to Just Covino. Very good, very good. You know, Covino's been a dear friend of ours. We still haven't done our hot tub stream, but I will be watching from US if you're doing hot tub stream with Hypnotic. That'll be funny, actually. Hey, Covino. I did disappear. I got COVID, Covino. and then right now I'm burning in heat because my AC is down in the apartment. And I'm struggling. Covina says, boo, just come to Germany. I wish. I do need to go. But Mikori was asking earlier, and I was saying that I definitely will go next year. Because, okay, here. I don't know about you and your project management timeline. But I decided to write the GDD game design doc for this Dread on Arrival game, which I've been working on for a while now. Because I finally want to finish a game. Because I went to PAX and review people, and you know, I watched other indie devs release their games and all and not, and I got super inspired, and a Hollow Knight Silk Song as well. So in an effort to finish some of our floating games, I decided to lock down some of the ideas, and we did some road mapping here. So that's what we did for those of you who's joining from Covino's stream. So we have a goal here. Actually, there's a Steam Next Fest coming up in a month, right? October 13th. Obviously, that we can't hit, but that's a good solid timeline. So we're not going to do Next Fest, but we're going to use that time as our pre-alpha version of the game. So we decided that we're going to have two versions of the game. There's a roguelike version, which is playable, combat focus, event focus. And we're going to do some iteration on that. And then we're going to get to the narrative version of that, some iteration, and hit next year's Next Fest, hopefully. And we're going to do that for 3 games. So we're going to release 3 games all at once. And which means that's about the time the Godot Probably Fest is going to happen next year, right? Then, hey, if I have 3 games releasing in a year all at once, then I have plenty of reasons to go to any and all Godot related con, right? 3 at once, yes. Okay, 1, because I feel like I can. But 2, just imagine the YouTube title. Like, you cannot not click on that. I released 3 games all at once in a year. And this is how I did it. Right? Or I released my first game. Or I released my first 3 games all at once. Or something. I don't know. It's just like crazy stuff. It's just absurd. It sounds absurd that you don't believe it. So you have to confirm and see if I'm BSing or not. And then the fact is I'm not. And then it's curiosity. Kovita says, but imagine the post-release bug fixes that are inevitable. No bugs. I don't believe in them. They don't exist. No, but it's not like release as in like release the sellable version. It's more like the first demoable version. So it's like wish listable page, basically. So free demo and wish list available with the page. And then from there, I can just prioritize based on what gets what traction, you know? Lieutenant Conqueror is like, Covito raid after like 30 minutes. Nah, it's not 30 minutes, but it's okay. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, no bugs. I don't expect any bugs. If you know anything about me, there's no bugs in my program, right? 100%. I don't believe in it. All right. Lieutenant Conqueror says, I'm always late, cries. No, it's okay. Nice. All right. So far, so good. So this game is a Dread on Arrival, for those of you who's joining us. It's one of our many games that we've been working on. This is meant to be a crew management game. Initially it started from my own game jam called Strawberry Jam, which, by the way, another one is going to come up in a few months, or a few weeks, I guess, even. A month, probably. Maybe I'll finish this first version and then I'll do the jam. Anyways, the theme was management and emotional, I think. Emotional and retro-futuristic. So we had a space retro-futuristic game idea where we're managing the crew, but managing their stress with their like psychosis and eldritch horror and whatnot. So right now the game is turning out to be kind of like Paper Please / FTL / Darkest Dungeon. So we have some of these concepts already built out. But our combat / event wasn't kind of locked out yet. So we're working on this part, so that there's some sort of like tactical strategic aspect to it. And we did some design doc here to lock down some of the ideas because we had a lot of ideas. And right now we're working on getting that combat aspect. And our goal right now is to get that combat generation working, gameplay working, and then make a roguelike version, meaning a randomly generated version where you can go through the map and upgrade. So you don't have the story aspect, but at least we are able to test if the combat is fun or not and addictive. So that's what we're doing here. Doom Rich says, no bugs. Yeah, exactly. So far, that combat situation, this is a test environment for my combat specifically. So you can choose different type of combat here. Click start and it'll generate it. And this is what the combat is going to look like generally. We have a grid here. You have the system. These are different stations on the ship. You can see that this is powered on, powered off. We have objective on the top left here. This one is neutralize all hostile ships. And then this is different crew. Game mechanic right now that we're working with. Sorry if you've already heard this before. Thanks for the follow, Utkarsh. I'm just doing this for the raiders here, since it's the first time probably hearing it. The idea of the gameplay right now is each crew is basically a ship action. They are the action, and their action depends on what station they're stationed at. So basically, I would like it to be, I click on the crew, and then some of the actions, available actions will pop up, and moving them to different station is free until you perform an action or skip. So you can move them to places, because I'm like exploring where I should put them. And then after I move them, I can do some actions relating to it. So for example, weapons will be like charge the weapon, prepare for fire or whatever. Or shield generator. I mean, we already have those things written down here. So like control will be moving the ship by the speed. Power station is routing power, so you can control the power of the whole ship. While you can control the power of each station if you're on that station already. Shield generator is allocating shield to a different components. Locker is putting on the spacesuit, because there's a indication of stations being on fire or the O2 level is low and stuff like that. So if you're in a spacesuit, you work slower, but you're protected from those hazards, etc., etc. So those things. So basically FTL, but more tactical because there's ships and all that. But tactical is kind of loose term. But yeah, that's what we're working on. Right now, I'm trying to make this power bar because I want to make it. I made this placeholder power bar, health bar, O2 level bar here, but I want the power to be very specific. I want each station to have like requires 1 battery to power it or 2 battery to power it, and that's going to be kind of like how I'm going to balance some of the modular components of the spaceship. So I am making a UI right now to indicate how many power each station requires. So we're going to create a script here. Station, power progress display, and class name, power progress display. And pretty simple, it's going to just grab the max value. And then it's going to grab the current value. Current or just value? I don't know. Current value is good. And then probably have a render or update display. And then we're gonna... Hey, by the way, is the music too loud? I'm thinking that it's starting to become loud in my ear. I'm gonna skip this music because this one is weird. Okar says, is there any game like this you taking inspiration from? This inspiration is definitely like... FTL is huge inspiration of this game, for sure. I heard that the aesthetic is very similar to Papers, Please. For a lot of people mentioned that before. The crew management aspect, where the one mechanic that I was really thinking about that could be really fun is psychosis. So crew gets stressed in a stressful situation. You don't want them to get stressed because their health gets lower, blah, blah, blah. They're more likely to die, etc., or they work less efficiently. But they can pick up psychosis to counteract it. So it's like curse. In a lot of other games, there are curse items, right? Where curse items are usually like has heavy downside but really good upside type of thing. So psychosis would allow the crew member to do like interesting passive and active things. I want that to be a main mechanic. I also added this part last night. I was thinking like because each crew member is a ship action, you are always wanting to have more crew member, right? But then I don't want to have a situation where crew or the player is like working with like 10 crewmates and 10 actions per turn, which is overpowered. They will never lose. So I was thinking that I'll cap the active crew. So you got to assign what combination of crew member you're going to have actively stationed, and then have a passive crew. So those are like helping hands. So some of the crew members might have a passive effect where if they're passive crew, then like the regeneration or repair rate increases, or like the O2 consumption is faster, but blah, 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 you know, all those interesting balances. Hey, Tricky. Welcome, Tricky Lady. From Covino Raid. Nice, nice. Ferric says no music. Oh, you don't hear any music? That's a lie. No, there's definitely a music. I see it. Maybe it's too quiet for you guys. I mean, it's loud for me. It's like very subtle. Here, let me change the music. You hear it? It's a gentle, gentle stream of music. As long as it's balanced. I don't want it to be too loud. Okay. That I hear. Okay. Just let me know if it's too loud, though. It's always a little bit tricky. It's tricky because Tricky Lady's here. Oh, thanks for the follow, Doomwretch. Wait, did I already say that? I don't know. Whatever. I thank you for the second time. Or third time now. All right. Ready. Update display here. And same thing. I like to do this where I go set value, max value equals value. If is node ready, then we do update display. And this is basically the same thing here. Current value will equal to value. Okay. And then updating the display is simply doing the adding the items thing. What we're going to do here is we're probably going to use some resource. Power icon here. By the way, I upgraded to 4.5 Godot. It's sick. I love the abstract classes. I love the UID resource loading. I love the warning highlighting. It highlights in the GDScript editor if there's warning now. Before it wasn't doing that. It didn't do that before. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's see. What we're gonna do, I think, is we're going to add as many texture rect as there are max values, right? So what we're gonna do first is var icon count will be children count, right? Child count. Yeah, get child count. And this is going to be probably int here. And we say, hey, if icon count is less than the max value, well, while rather, we're going to add new texture rect here, which will be just texture rect new. Now, I think we want to keep. I think I want to do keep size here, 30 to 32. We'll see. So that's going to be texture rect or icon texture rect, and then what's the warning here? Is declared but never used in block. Yeah. Say, hey, its texture will equal to unpowered icon for now. And then we're going to set its options here, which will be stretch mode. We'll keep aspect just in case. Nothing else needs to be changed. Well, maybe the minimum. We're going to say custom minimum size will equal to vector 2 of 32 by 32. And then obviously we're going to add this as a child. All right, so we have enough icon count. Now, another thing is that what if there are more, right? We can do another thing with say white icon count is greater than the max value. We can remove child. This might be a terrible way to do this, but... it's okay. Moving. God. Don't worry about how terrible this is, okay? We could also pull this, but I'm not going to pull it. I'm just going to Q-Fury this. Hey, Cooley. Ferric says, wait, UID resource loading? Yeah. Non-path dependent resource loading. In 4.5, if you drag the resource while holding control, if you drag it and then hold control, it'll load it as UID. Like so. And if you just drag it normally, it's just path. Isn't that cool? You should use it. Everybody should update to 4.5. I think 4.5 is actually really, really good. It's like one of the less flashy updates, but then it's like really, like systematically very helpful. There are some changes they made on... By the way, I also, for those of you who don't know, I am known for my dialogue manager. So I do have dialogue manager plugin, which I think is one of these things. I don't know if you guys seen this, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to showcase this. I'm sure we're sick of this. Hi, Cooley. Welcome, welcome. Oh, by the way, if you guys want a little strawberry folk. Oh, yeah, because I got rated, there's a shiny activated right now. If you redeem right now on Twitch channel points, plant berry folk seed, you're going to get a little plant on the screen. And then if you water them 9 times, you get a chance of receiving one of these berries. As you can see, there are different pick rate. I do release different things. But yeah. Also, what you can do, if you kick someone, hey, Hypnotic with the shiny dice berry. Wait, did you just get that? Dude, that's the first shiny dice, I think. I don't think anybody else has a shiny dice. Wait, Hypnotic, is this bugged? It says you already have a plant. Weird. Okay. Anyways. If you kick whoever has the crown, regardless of the shiny percentage or shiny activation, you have a chance of getting a shiny. So if you kick me right now, who's humongous over here, which I guess I should change. Hold on. Change berry. There I am. Change berry. Change berry. I'm gonna be big again. Change berry. Oh my gosh, I have so many berries. Oh my god, I have everything. Wait, why do I actually have everything? That's crazy. Anyways. All right, so if you kick me, you can steal my crown, by the way. It's a little mini game. It's kind of hard to kick people because of the delay and everything. But good luck, everyone. Godspeed on your pulls. Shiny, I mean, it's a good chance. 10%, and if you have a crown, it's 30, extra 30%, 20%. Anyways, I'll be back while you guys are... Okay, I'm back. Let's see. What's everybody doing here? Berries. Yeah. Look at all those berries. No bug, right? By the way, this berry folk thing I made it myself with Godot as well. So look at us making games. That will be our 4th game. Which I guess at this point we're not gonna work on anymore. Collect them all for a chance to meet me in person. Just kidding, I'm kidding. No, nobody said that actually. I don't know. Maybe there should be a Covino says deal. No. Redeem them, then you'll get personally. Anyways, personal delivery. Anyways, icon. Okay, so this needs to be tool. We're removing the icon from the tail, right? Getting the index, get child count -1, removing it, and then queue free it. I have a feeling this might break, but we'll see. Next. Up to the value. We got to turn it on. So for icon texture in get children. We should probably do it this way. For I in max value, get child in I, and get their texture, and replace it with unpowered icon or powered icon. If current value is, or I is less than current value, otherwise unpower. Okay, this might break, but I feel pretty confident here, so I'm gonna do tool tech here. Famous last words, right? So for example, right here, if I restart this one, power progress bar, this is good. So 1 is 1. So if I increase the max value to 2, oh shoot, it's gonna crash. Oh no, my stream's gonna crash. Hold on, before stream crashes, I'm gonna close the Godot. Oh, I felt that. I felt that from miles away. I saw it freeze and it was like, oh, I can't do it. No, don't crash. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm notorious for like crashing every time somebody raises me. Kind of funny. Yalv says, I got a question on YouTube. Sure. Where am I supposed to learn GDScript? There's a lot of other language tutorial, for example, Python, but not as much on GDScript. Okay, there are a few ways to do it. Honestly, Godot doc. I would say because this getting started portion is all about learning Godot and Godot's specific thing. You can actually see that there is a full documentation on learning it. Is it good or not? I'm not really sure. Another thing that I've seen before, of course, GD Quest is a good place to learn, but I'm not sure if it's beginner friendly. But what is it? Brachy's Godot tutorial has a very GDScript specific one that's meant to be just one-stop shop for like all the basics. So this might be a good one. Have I watched it myself? No, I have not, but it may be good. So go check it out. Might be helpful. I heard Heartbeast is a good one for Godot, but I'm not sure if it's GDScript specific or Godot in general. You might be interested in looking at my video, which may or may not help, but try this out. Okay, y'all, try this out and tell me. Because I wanted to start a series of like, what is it? Hold on. Okay, here's a concept. I learned programming, you know, I'm self-taught, Plus, I went to school, right? I went to college for computer science, so I learned it professionally. And I worked at a tech company as software engineer, so I have some knowledge on programming in general, but it's not game programming. However, there are very common paths to learning programming language in general. And so there's a lot of, as you said, Python, C, C#, Java, basic ways to learn program. And typically in whatever language you learn, you have this like hello world, learning to input output, debugging, blah, blah, blah. And then learning the programming concept of what array means, what data structures are, just using different languages. Those lessons are the same, just different language, right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to make a programming course for beginners where it's basically everything I learned in programming, except we're using Godot and GDScript as a language of choice. This is the video that I tried to do that. And it's the first one where I do hello world and then I give you a little homework at the end. Check it out. Let's see if it helps you. It's interesting. I do not use C# in Godot, even though I know C language in general. I mean, I haven't really used it professionally. Oh my gosh, why am I sniffling now? Am I dying? Is my brain leaking? Uh-oh. A little scary. I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'll answer your questions in a bit. Just give me a second. Okay, my brain is not leaking. I'm safe. I like to use GDScript because I like the kind of like approachability and the philosophy of having easy language to make it accessible for a lot of people. So the idea is if I find something that doesn't work really well on GDScript, then figuring that out / requesting that change to improve in Godot community feels like contributing to the community. That's why I use GDScript. And I try to do everything in GDScript, including creating plugins. Ferric also says, Yalv, GDQuest has a tutorial built in Godot that starts you from 0. It uses code window feature and validates your coding along the lesson. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so go to GDQuest as well. Yalv, if you heard that. Hasi, you got the Hollowberry? That's one of the newer ones. Oh, Covino, you got 3? You got a shiny Hollowberry, which is basically, what do you call? A hornet berry. Wow. Hypnotic just... Oh, Hypnotic also got a Hollowberry. Wait, is the Hollowberry right now high chance? Wow. High roller. Look at that. Oh, more booster packs. Look at them. Booster pack doesn't give you. It just adds to the pool, by the way. Just in case it wasn't clear. I think somebody were confused before. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Yelv. All right, let's do this again. I don't know why it froze though. Hold on, get rid of this tool tag real quick. I'm just gonna open this real quick. Let's see what happens. All right. Is there any bug? No. What if I change this value to 2 here and launch this? Okay, nothing happens here. Sick. Update display. We'll come over here. Okay, cool. Icon count. There's one right now. Oh, I see. That's why. I'm gonna get rid of. Excuse me. Get rid of this. Launch again. Spooky says berries. That's right. Yes. Yes. Get into my gachapon. Free gachapon. So at least it's not scummy, right? I gotta make it pay for view. I don't know. All right. So we got the icon count, which is 0. It's less than 0. Says until it hits max value, which is 1. It's going to add a child. Oh, that's silly of me. I got to do this every time. Right? Yeah. Because I need to recalculate it every time. That's why it was infinite looping. There you go. 1. Okay, now I think I can turn on the tool tag for sure. Hey, nobody caught it. Is anybody paying attention here? Come on, guys. All right. 2, 3. If I have 6 here, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. It's working. I'm going to get rid of the separation between these icons. We'll make it 0 or maybe even -6. That's pretty good. Good spacing. So that means instead of power progress bar here, we're going to put power progress display like so. It's messing with this other thing, which I guess I'll just make it 1 1 for now, like so, which will change this. It's really messing with the alignment here, so we're gonna try to fix this real quick. This feels okay. Maybe we can change the margin real quick. Margin is 35 now. Top margin, we're going to push it down a little bit. And bottom margin, we'll make it 0. Yeah, that feels good. Yeah. That means we're going to have to copy that on the background one. 35, 20, 10. 35, 20, 10. Oh, actually, seems like it's okay. Tiling, tiling, tiling. Full rect again. Something, something. Why is it not working now? Forgot what I did to make it work. Is this window right here? Maybe it's too wide? 200? Or 220. Let's do that. Okay, that's okay. Seems weird. Okay, so instead of power progress bar being the main thing, we're going to change that to power progress display. And then we're going to get rid of this. We'll say bup, bup, like so. Current power is 5 here. We're going to change this to 1 and 1. For most part, I think maybe we should do 2 by default. There you go. Oh. And everybody's just gambling over here. Yelv says, I'll try it. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. I'll try that as well. Yeah, no problem. I hope and wish for a good luck in your Godot journey. Let's see. So we're going to come back to the combat tester. Let's see if it works properly. Boom. Aha! Break. Oh yeah, the value is not a thing. It's current value. You guys are funny. Okay. All right. Almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is there 5 there? Is it because of the default value? I assigned 5? I thought I changed this. Oh, is it over here? Okay, on my combat tester for this station, these are defaults. Just okay. Info panel. Oh, that's right. Gonna delete this. This one's gonna be 1, 1. And regardless of what that is, this should update here. This update should change it, but Power progress display requires power means visible. Current value is going to be current power, which is going to be 2. You know what? I'm going to do this real quick. Current is 5. Why is it 5? Oh, I know what it is. This needs to use the default value. There it is. Okay. Sick. This should be good now. Standard combat, restart, resume. Boom. Looks okay, looks okay. Maybe I need to give a little bit more margin on the bottom. Less margin on the left. So let's do that. Info panel here. So less margin on the left. A little bit more margin on the bottom. How about 10? Oh, that's top. Whoops. I guess we do 30 here. Left will be 10. Let's see what that does. This whole thing needs to be a little bit bigger, I think. Let's move this to the left. Interesting. It's not moving any more left. Zero margin on the left. Is it because this is on the center? What if it goes from the begin? Doesn't do anything. Center here. And this one is full rect, right? Oh, it's a shrink center. Vertically shrink center should be fill. There you go. That's a little bit better. It took me a while to get used to UI, the control node on Godot, I have to admit. Right margin, bottom can be like 5, I think. Top does seem a little bit big. I mean, this can be justified if icon is big enough, but I don't think the icon is big enough. Because we do this, and then we add another one here. I think this one, we're going down and we're aligning at the end. Sizing, vertically shrink and down here. And this one, I think, vertically fill in the content. And for the margin itself, we're going to get rid of the top margin here. So each box fills up all the way. And then give like 5. Yes. Okay. That gives some space for this to be at the center. Okay, I see. This is going to be a problem. So I do think that it should be from top to bottom then. Let's do shrink center. The spacing... not very good. Shrink begin. And this one itself, might have to shift it down. Might have to custom. There's not much custom you can do here. Shrink it begin. We want to create a margin, top margin only for the vertical box. So technically, if we put an empty control here and call this top margin container control and give this a minimum Y like 20 or 15. I think 30 is probably good. 30, 32, that's about perfect, I think. That should clean it up, I think. Let's see what that looks like. Nice. Okay, that looks kind of okay. Kind of okay. Is funny things to say. All right. That doesn't look too terrible. Doesn't look half bad. I don't like this right margin, so I'm going to get rid of that right margin, or at least reduce it a little bit. Right margin, make it 5, maybe? Maybe 0. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Separation between these two could increase, I think. 6. Maybe a little more. 10. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. This seems like it's doable. So we got some powers here. 2, 2, 2, 2. By default. Well, not default, I guess. Depending on the setting. So now we gotta do actual configuration for what is powered and what is not. Station here. This is a ship configuration, so I need to edit the ship configuration. Combat ship here. It's got the station. We need power routing here. How are we going to do power routing? I think we want station. Yeah, I think so. We need a resource called station configuration, or station resource. Player station resource. Station resource. Yeah, I think I do need a station resource here. Create a resource. And this is like a less of a resource in the save sense, but more like what the player is using. So it's going to be station setting. Like so. Oh, should probably do underscore for this one. Who's got the crown? Wow, nobody's able to steal my crown. Maybe I need to be faster. Here, I'll be a Barry Allen. Change Barry Allen. So I'll move around a little more. You guys have more opportunity to kick me. Okay, so instead of stations being just array of station type, we're updating this so that the stations are station setting, and station setting takes the variable called type, which will take ship combat station type. I guess it should be over here, honestly. Yep. Why is it? Hold on. Class station set. Why is there a colon expectation? Oh, class name. Oops. Oh, if I do class, it's like indentation separation. Like this, so you can have inner class. Oh, hey, that's new. Has it always been the case where you can have multiple class in a single file? You know what? I'm gonna start using this. Current power will be integer. By default, it's gonna be 0. I think the required power should be also there. Export var required power, which will be 2 by default, but it might be something else. Sick. All right, so that's all I'm gonna have right now. And that one, we're gonna say station setting. And that means, can I find type station setting? Oh, I can't do that. It's not global if I do it that way. It's local. Well, good to know, good to know. We're figuring things out, aren't we? Okay. So, over here, ship type, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to create a new ship, which is broken. So we're going to go over here. Test player, player combat info. Ship's gonna have this. Save this. All right. Wait, why can I not create a new one? Has it always been the case? Oh, it's no longer an option. I'm gonna have to reload the project. I noticed that about the 4.5, by the way. Restart the project. All right, we're making good progress here. There we go. Whoa, what is happening with all these string being whatever it wants to be? Okay. Cool, this should be good now. I come over here, player setting. Hello? Why does it? I cannot edit it. Excuse me? The export seems a little finicky. Crew resources okay, right? Huh, weird. I'm gonna close all. I never said 4.5 is perfect. It clearly isn't. Reload this again. I'm gonna reload the project again. It's got a lot of issues. Whew, it's getting hot now. mode is here. Test player. Create a new one. Okay, now it works. See, this is like kind of annoying. Quick resource. We're going to add a sailor, researcher, and a comm operative. And for the ship, we're going to use default ship type. And then we'll add some stations here. We'll add a bunch of station settings. For each of the station, control, power, which doesn't require, shield generator, locker, weapon, engineering bay, med bay, O2. Okay. And then for this test, I'll say, how about we say players have 5 total power. Control requires 1. Power doesn't require anything. Shield generator requires 1. Locker requires 1. Weapon requires 2. Engineering bay requires 2. Med bay requires 1. O2 requires 2. So there's some interesting balance you need to do. 0 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say there's 5 total. Not sure if this is well balanced. I'm just going off of intuition here. Okay. So I changed some power setting. Now I got to make it so that those power setting is reflected on the combat itself. So we're coming here. And when we are creating the game here, at station. So it's not station type anymore. It's going to be station setting. Or I could say L and go var station setting equals station setting equals L as station setting. And then we can just pull in type. And we can set up update power. And then we can do container update max power. And that's gonna come from the station setting. Current power and max power. Required power. Right. This one requires, station, right? We gotta give the station type. And the station type here. Let's see, what else? We need to decide if it's required, power is required or not. Not really sure if I did that anywhere. Station, info panel. Okay, that comes from the station setting. I do feel like it should come from this. Well, we'll see. We'll fix that later. And what we're going to do here now, we're going to indicate if things are turned on or not. I think I'm going to decide it on the info panel. So come over here, go to the individual info panel here. Okay, cool. We're going to say, is powered will be decided is powered equals require. It doesn't require it, or current power is greater than equal to the max power, right? If current is greater than equal to max power, that means it's powered. And so if we're powered, we color it powered. So now if we start this again, we should see some of them powered with, you know, the little power battery markers. Some minor errors here. Stack size. Ooh, huge stack size. 1024. What's going on here? Current value is 2. Why is there so many stack? Are we iterating infinitely somewhere? Potentially. Whoa. Oh. Ah. Okay. Okay. Hey, Buggy. Okay. Funk update power. Update powered display. And that should be over here. Interesting. Yeah, because it was like calling itself from the rendering because it's updating a value, which I guess it shouldn't do. This one should only happen here. That's why it was infinitely nesting, which is a big no-no. Okay. All right. Boom. Aha. Look at that. Beautiful. We got power supply obviously operating. Am I crazy, or do these look brighter than this? I'm not hallucinating, am I? Like, it does feel like this one is brighter than these two. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So we see that the navigation is powered on, weapon is powered on, and O2 is powered on, which makes sense. I guess what happens if O2 is powered off? Does everybody's O2 slowly drain? I think it should only drain if O2 is being used, right? In that room, in that station. I think so. I'm going to simplify it. I'm not going to make it so that, like, as soon as the O2 stops, everything starts to drain. It's like you can move the players around to see where the oxygen is. Yeah, look at that. Okay, sick. We got the setting running. According to the setting, the powered on status is updated. Now the next thing I need to do is make it so that I can click on players. When I click on the, not player, click on the crew. When I click on the crew, available actions should show up. That's the next task. All right. Let's see. So on the navigation, crew info container, probably actually it should be navigation combat. Within the combat, we should probably have handle action. So we'll do, okay, if we do eligibility model, meaning each available action. So there's two ways to approach this, right? I could make it so that when I click on the crewmate, check which station it's in, and check the available action from this station, right? That means the available action is tied to the station or tied to the crew. So when you're writing the configuration, we're going to have to, every time I add a new action, or every time I change certain actions need to be somewhere else, I need to open the station. I need to remember what station the action is in, open the station, get the action, remove it, and move it to somewhere else, right? In an eligibility model, which is less efficient programmatically, but I think what it can do is each action can decide if it is available based on the state. So, for example, turn on shield action, right? It can have an eligibility check being like can or is available, whatever. And then it can check if the crew is in what station, if the ship has certain item or whatever. That way actions can be available for various reasons without having to be tied down to any like nested logic, I think. So what I want to do actually is have a separate nodes that are action execution and eligibility checking. So it's the action handling. So it's the action node. And I would call that crew action node. Yeah. So we'll create an action. Combat action. And within the combat action, we're going to have a scene that's called node, extends node, and it's going to be combat action node. Handler? Handler is so generic. And handler sounds like it's a static class. Utility function. Handle node. Action node. It sounds like all I need to do is drop it in. Yeah, I think so. Combat action. Hey, archives. Welcome. Okay, and of course, because the new features are available, we're going to use it. We're going to attach a script called combat action here that is extending a node. Combat action, and guess what? This is abstract. And we're going to put two abstract classes here. Abstract class 1 will be a function called well, there are two things. One, does it show up as one of the actions? Right? So it should be should show on action bar, which gives Boolean. And then another one that decides if it is available, is available, which will decide if it's grayed out or not, like disabled. And then it needs to decide how it functions. So it'll be action execute, which will be void here. And any node that extends this should do that. And so in the navigation combat, where we have a node, yeah, we're just going to have a regular node here where, say, combat actions. And I'm using that as like a container where I bring it in. And basically, whenever I'm about to show action, right here, for example, if I go func on crew selected, for example, We're going to say to do get selected crew info. And then for action node in combat actions, get children, or I'll say element here, L, and then var L, combat action, or not combat action, it's going to be action node. I think we're calling it, is it combat action? We are just calling combat action, isn't it? As combat action, do something like action node should show on action bar with some parameters that I will fill in later. And if this is true, then we're going to have available actions, which will be an array of combat action. Add that to that. Right. And then I check if it should be disabled. Enable, that could be called by the display node that's responsible for displaying that information. And so over here, to do display action button for each available actions, like so. Nice. Not sure when this is going to be triggered right now, but that's something that's going to happen. And func on action selected or action executed, we'll just simply go to do get selected action, and then we'll just simply go, so for example, selected action will be some sort of combat action, some assignment, which we're just going to do this temporarily, and then we'll say, well, it can't be like this. Let's assume that something got assigned here. And then I guess we could just pass it as parameter too. Action here somehow. Then we can say action execute. And we're going to figure out what parameter it is, but we're going to execute it. It's going to do its thing. And then we can move on to the next state. Should be good. We don't have any turn handling here. So this is going to, I'm just going to drop actions here. For example, I could say, yeah. So I could, let's say new inherited scene from the combat action. And wait, why is it not attached? Weird. Wait, hello? Hello? Wait. Why is it not showing as attached? Am I crazy? Weird. Archive says, how do I get the hollowberry? Well, there's 7 of them. You just got to do it. Here, let me give it to you. Seems like you've done enough. Changeberry. Hollowberry. Not to be confused with Halleberry. Gift archives. There you go. No problem. I mean, you're lucky that I had one. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to give it to you. I don't get it. I attached the script, but it doesn't show as attached. Hello? Why won't it attach? Oh. Because it's abstract. I guess you can't attach abstract. Oh yeah, that's right. Silly me. Sorry. That's my fault. I just need to create a new one. That's right. Rename this. Let's say restation or move station action, which doesn't cost any action anyways, but I still want to do it this way. So we're going to say move station action. And then now we're going to create a new one. And this one extends combat action. And it's going to yell at me being like, hey, you gotta like do all these abstract stuff. I wish I could autofill this, but whatever. I'm going to go over here, just copy and paste this. Turn false. And then it's going to do something like so. For example. And then over here on the combat itself, where the actions are available, we'll just say, hey, these are some of the actions that you should filter through. Nice. So it'll do that. Sick. All right. Oh, I gotta get going, honestly. Let me see. Nice. Unending stream. Okay. I think that's a good place to stop. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been fun. Thanks for a raid again, everyone. If you're not following me already, please follow. I will be streaming regularly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from now on. Before I was pretty random, here and there, sporadic. But now I'm going to lock it down. 3 days a week, maybe weekends. If I do anything extra, I will announce it in Discord. So do join our Discord here. We like to discuss questions and stuff like that. Go check out my YouTube for tutorial contents and other devlog stuff. Thanks for watching. Let's see. I gotta send you. I'm gonna raid out now. Archive says, well, have a great night, mate. Thank you. Thank you, mate. That's pretty awful, isn't it? Hopefully Hypnotic didn't hear that. Might. Oh no. Oh no. Not. I keep slipping into posh, which I shouldn't probably, right? Anyways. All right. Crikey. Look at the size of the... I should probably stop while I'm ahead. Anyways. Speaking of Australian, we'll go to Hypnotic today as well. Might as well. All right. What else am I not doing? Okay. I already announced everything. Follow. Thanks for the subs today. Keep following along. We will finish this game. I'll be one of the few devs that finishes their game. Yeah? That's something to follow for. All right. Anyways. Bye. Have a good one. Yee. All right. Okay, YouTube. Thanks for watching as well over there.